What's going on, guys? I'm with the Moose, and today I'm back with a team update 96 overall, if you guys can see the top right. And first up, we're going to show you guys my coaching and equipment real quick, just to get you guys an idea of what chemistries I'm rocking. Of course, I have a lot more than this, but just give you an idea. So first up, the Pick Specialist Stadium. This is from Ultimate Freeze. That's very nice to have on your team if you do have it. Chiefs offense, Patriots defense, really like those. I love the Chiefs offense. I've really been kind of expanding my offensive repertoire. If you guys have watched me for a few years now, you would know my offense is not that insane, but now it's getting there. It's getting to be finally a little bit more dynamic. Now, I do have the Bengals Edge Protector ×2 uniform. Of course, I didn't really want the Bengals per se. I would love it to be both Cowboys uniforms, but given that these are so rare, it's pretty much just get what you get on the auction house. And same deal with the Dolphins. Don't really care that it's a Dolphins uniform, but needed coverage linebacker and lockdown as those chemistries. And also you can see Jim Caldwell with deep threat and lockdown chemistries. So let's get into it, see exactly what the team's looking like. Of course, we're going to start on the offensive side of the ball. If you guys can take a look right here. First up, Derek Carr, QB, 97 overall with the boost. He's a 94 overall base, but I do have deep threat ×2 and also chain mover ×2, or tier 2, I should say, with Derek Carr, which boosts him up to a 97 overall. Absolutely love that he has conductor. That's a huge factor in any QB that I use. I always want them to have chain mover and conductor, honestly. If they don't have one of them, then I can kind of figure it out, but I would really like conductor a lot, and I really don't think there's any reason to use any quarterback that does not have conductor, unless you're using Brett Favre, obviously, because he does have gunslinger. Now, let's move on to the big uglies up front. We got David Bakhtiari, and what's so nice about him is that he pairs so well with Brian Bulaga, his teammate. They both have edge protector, and they both have Green Bay chemistry. So right there, you get tier 1 edge protector and tier 1 Green Bay just by having both of them in your lineup. I really like that combination. They're not too expensive. Highly recommend that you do it. You guys can see I have them boosted up 5 overall. They're 5 overall higher than they normally are. Bakhtiari is normally a 92, Bulaga is normally a 90. They both go up 5 with these boosts. Of course, that's because I have Green Bay ×2, which we'll get into in a little bit. Now, next up, this is a new addition yesterday. I made Andy Levitre with zone blocker and interior protector. I only have zone blocker tier 1 because basically I have everything maxed out as much as I can, and that goes along with this Matt Paradis right here, who has interior protector ×2, which will get me tier 2 for that. And he also has zone blocker, giving me tier 1 for it. So I really like those cards. I also love Identified, absolutely, or Identifier, whatever it's called. Really like that chemistry. It's a very good one, and I highly recommend you get it on your team in some way, shape, or form. And then finally, TJ Lang, Football Outsider. He's also boosted up 5 overall. This one with interior protector ×2, or tier 2, I should say, and Green Bay tier 2 as well. Green Bay tier 2 really helps out the O-line. It's actually a pretty darn good team chemistry. I'm not a huge fan of those, but Green Bay is actually not too bad. Now, at tight end, we have this Greg Olsen, which just has an insane amount of chemistries. He's honestly like the Antonio Brown chemistry master of tight ends right now. He has route runner, slot expert ×2, and chain mover with the milestone version. Really like this card. Even without the milestone, it's very good, but that chain mover addition helps us out in a lot of ways. Now, next up, we got Jordy Nelson right here, wide receiver number 1 with Green Bay ×2, getting that to tier 2. And then route runner ×2, he's a 97 overall with the boost. I believe he's a 95 normally, I believe. So it's not a crazy insane boost. Actually, I can't even check, but it's not like a crazy insane boost up to a 97, but it's kind of hard to boost wide receivers up unless you have a lot of chemistries for him. So I do like that card a lot. Really gives me a deep threat option. Now, Antonio Brown, also a great receiver. If you don't have him on your team, honestly, I don't know what you're doing. He has so many chemistries, and it's so easy to slot him in. He's a great receiver in the first place, and with all those chems, it just makes it so much easier to unlock. I think I have every single offensive chemistry, or every single chain mover, deep threat, route runner, slot expert, whatever I'm trying to say here, all those at tier 2, which is pretty darn nice. And then finally, Steve Smith Sr. There's not a lot of options that have slot expert and chain mover. I was rocking the flashback Anquan Bolden as my wide receiver number 2 for a little while, but I realized I didn't really care too much about that card, so I basically flip-flopped him and Antonio Brown, and then bought the Steve Smith Sr. to be a little bit cheaper. Good option, good card, but nothing too crazy. Now, fullback, you guys can see Donald Penn is my fullback. There's a lot of different options I could go with this. If I wanted to maybe max out zone blocker, I could do that, but problem is I would need 2 players, and I would need a running back and a fullback, and there's not many great options right now at those positions for him. So let me know what you guys think. Maybe I should do that, but as of right now, I basically am rocking Donald Penn because he's an absolute beast at fullback. And then this primetime Ezekiel Elliott, this card, I know a lot of you guys are going to ask, a lot of you guys have asked. This card is a card that you get from, or you got, I should say, from MUT 16 if you did the Premier or Rookie Premier set back in that game. So I'm not sure if you can do it over now. Maybe you can. I honestly have no clue. But that's how you got it. Basically, this card is a dynamic upgrade card. So this card's stats, the 95 overall version of this, basically reflects his new Team of the Year card. It's really, really cool. Obviously, he doesn't have the chemistries of it, which sucks because he has like rush offense-based chemistry, which blows. But, you know, other than that, it's a great card, so I really like it. And then I also have this Gio Bernard from Ultimate Season just backing him up. But yeah, basically the only things I would change on offense were possibly getting a new running back and a new fullback to maybe max out like zone blocker or some kind of different chemistry. But let me know what you guys think of the offense. I think it's pretty nice. Really like that Zeke card, and the O-line is absolutely nasty. So let's get over to defense here, see what we got rocking. I did a ton of work on it yesterday with Team of the Year defense coming out and whatnot, and we got a lot to go through. So first up, Devin McCourty. We'll go up to the top here with Tip Drill and Deep Defender ×2. He's a 95 overall, boosted up 2 overall from his base. Very nice card. Really like that one. And basically just like it because he has the Deep Defender ×2. It allows me to unlock that as well. Now moving over to strong safety, we have this Eric Weddle competitive card. I believe he's a 94 overall base, 97 with the boost, absolutely nasty, with Deep Defender and Field General, which is a great chemistry in general. I believe Field General ×2, or Tier 2 I should say, boosts speed. You guys can see right there, with Tier 2 it boosts speed, and, along with a host of other things. So that speed boost is really, really nice. Now moving over to the linebackers, of course, Ted Hendricks. Kind of a weird, you know, option in this situation. You guys are thinking, you know, 96 overall team. You have like a 92 overall base legend on your team that came out, what, 2 or 3 months ago? Honestly, it's because there's not many great options at left outside linebacker. They're really good cards like Von Miller, Khalil Mack. Those dudes are insanely expensive. They're like 700, 800K. And I'm not in the market to have more than maybe 1 or 2 of those players on my team. I know I have a lot of good players on my team, but most of them are around, you know, 300, 250K, which is a lot, but it's nowhere near 700, 800K. So basically, Ted Hendricks fills the role, and he's a pretty good card. He's like 6'8" or something. He does his job, and really like that card. Now moving over to right outside linebacker, I had to get Sean Lee. Absolutely love the Jadeveon Clowney card that came out with along with that Antonio Brown as well. It really gives you a lot of versatility, and I used him for a while, but I had to get Sean Lee, being a Cowboys fan, and he also has great chemistries, Field General and Coverage Linebacker ×2, and of course I've boosted those out as well. And then Luke Kuechly at middle linebacker, this card I had to get as well. Absolutely love Luke Kuechly, one of my favorite non-Cowboys players in the NFL right now. Field General ×2 and Carolina ×2, which is actually pretty easy to max out, and also a good chemistry as well. And then Paul Posluszny at middle linebacker #2. I do run a 3-4, so he's on the field a pretty good amount. This is a good card. It's nothing too crazy. I think I have coverage linebacker Tier 1 and only tackle machine, or sorry, coverage linebacker Tier 2 and tackle machine Tier 1. I basically just didn't, you know, get anybody else with tackle machine, so that's that. Now moving over to the D line right here, we got Brandon Graham giving us that edge setter ×2. He also activates Philly chemistry by himself. I'm not even sure really what that does. I think it boosts like block shit and stuff. Let's take a look actually real quick. See what we got. You guys can see through all my chemistries. I have a ton. I think I have like 11 on defense. Absolutely nuts. You guys can see I have Denver and Carolina Tier 2 defense. We'll get to the Denver in a little bit. Let's see. Philly defense boost, tackle, power move, and block shot. So that's pretty good. It's kind of tough to get Tier 2 with that, with all the other players I had, but Tier 1 by himself is pretty nice. Now moving over to left end, this is kind of a weird card, but it worked out literally perfectly. He has line pusher and edge setter, which is honestly the only reason why I bought him. And then I realized that he has Denver chemistry as well, which my corners have, which, like I said, we'll get to in a little bit. Now, I wanted that line pusher to boost up Starlo Tule and K1 Short, and also I needed that edge setter to unlock Tier 2 with Brandon Graham and Ted Hendricks. So it really worked out well along with that Denver chemistry. So Starlo Tule, this card is an absolute monster. I know there is a new K1 Short, a Team of the Year K1 Short, that has the exact same chemistry as line pusher ×2 and Carolina ×2, but there's no you know, Starlo Tule that fits what this K1 Short does for me. So I'm basically keeping it at this. You know, if there was a different Starlo Tule that was like maybe a, you know, a 90 overall that had line pusher and Carolina chemistry, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would switch this out for the new K1, but since you can't run 2 players that are the same player, you know, I can't run K1 Short at DT1 and DT2. We're gonna keep it at this. Now, finally, let's get to the corners, the fun stuff right here, in my opinion. Chris Harris Jr. I'm not sure. I didn't do the calculations or anything, but I'm pretty sure he's the most expensive card on my team right now. Bought him for like 600 something thousand coins yesterday. Really, really expensive, but really, really good. He has Denver ×2 and also Lockdown ×2. Absolutely nasty. Boosted up to a 98 overall, almost at 99. Really, really cool card, and that just works so well with Aqib Talib, who's another Team of the Year with Denver ×2 as well, getting us to you know, one-off Tier 2 Denver defense, which of course, like I mentioned, this Derek Wolf's gives us. And then he also has pick specialist ×2 as well, which, you know, with the stadium and also along with this Jason Verrett, who has pick specialist and deep defender, we really get a lot of chemistries. If we want to count them up, let's see how many elite chemistries we have. We have line pusher Tier 2, lockdown tier 2, field general, deep defender. I'm just going through honestly the defense right now. Let's see what else we got. Pick specialist, that makes 5. Edge setter, that's 6. Coverage linebacker, 7. And then with the defenses, you get 8 and 9 right there. That is absolutely nuts. A really, really nice defense in my opinion. Obviously, I have a few guys that I might want to upgrade eventually, like this Derek Wolfe, but the fact that he has so many chemistries is just so nice. He's boosted up 5 overall. Card's only an 85 overall base. And obviously, like Ted Hendricks, if there's a better left outside linebacker that has edge setter that comes out, I'll probably pick that up. But as of right now, I really like the defense, I really like the team, and I think they're playing really, really well for me. And finally, let's take a look at the specialists. Who do I have over here? We got Sam Martin from the playoffs, you know, focus kicker. Absolutely love that. Chemistry, highly recommend it. And then same with Chris Boswell, basically there because he's got the focus kicker. And then also we have Tyreek Hill, who was my team of the year no auction, no trade player for the offense, and he's basically my wide receiver number 4 and also my kick returner for pretty much the rest of the year. And also, if you guys were wondering, my defensive team of the year no auction, no trade was actually this Cameron Wake, who's obviously better than Derek Wolfe, but the chemistry just don't fit, which is unfortunate. But hey, what are you gonna do? I'll use him as a backup, and we'll get it going with that. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. As always, let me know what you think of the team. What areas do you think I can improve? And of course, be on the lookout for some gameplay very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.